It may be the deep off season and we may all be stuck at home, but one guy who's not stuck at home, he's up at the office alone, alone. He's practicing social distancing. He's the head coach of the Corpus Christi Miller Buccaneers. We're joined by Coach Justen Evans. Coach, how are you?
Great. How about yourself?
Doing excellent. How are you holding up? First and foremost, how are you? How's your family? How are things in Corpus?
Oh, everything's going good. You know, we're practicing the social distancing. This is something that's unprecedented, and none of us have ever been through anything like this. And so, you know, just really trying to follow what the CDC and our local government is saying to keep everyone healthy.
You're a guy who's obviously very connected to the community, and obviously you have a special bond. You know, not only with your players, but with the with the community. I'm interested. In a time like this where kids are at home, kids are staying away from school, how are you staying connected to them? What have you been talking to your guys about during this time?
Oh, absolutely. So, you know, us as a coaching staff, we've been meeting, and we meet via Zoom, and you know, we've devised a plan to stay connected with our kids. You know, each one of our position coaches is responsible for checking up on his kids and making sure that they're, you know, staying healthy, staying connected to the program, doing as much as working out as they can in these, you know, unusual circumstances, you know, with gyms being closed and us not being able to open up facilities here at Miller. Just sending them workout plans of what they can do at home, things that they can do. Our coaches have done a great job of giving those guys those tools to stay pretty much, you know, in shape and as much as they can.
I want to ask you a little bit about the 2019 season, because it was an unbelievable year for your Buccaneers. The first undefeated regular season there at Miller since 1960. An unbelievable year for you guys. I guess, when did you know that something like this could be coming? When did you know that you thought you had something special?
You know, in off season, before the season, you know, we were, you know, year before we were 6-4, and we were actually 6-1, and we hit a tough little stretch, lost a heartbreaker to Vets here, and then dropped the last two games, and so, but we knew we had a lot of kids coming back from that team. We were still relatively young, had a sophomore quarterback, some junior receivers or what have you, O-lineman, sophomore and junior. So we knew that we would be an experienced ball club coming back the next year. And so, you know, all throughout off season, you know, we structured off season a little bit differently than we had done in the past, and, you know, just really focused on being a player-led team instead of a coach-fed team. You know, really continuing to change that culture that we had been doing for 3 years. And, you know, in the third year, you know, kids pretty much knew what the expectations were and what have you. And so off season, you know, we got after it. We shut that door and we said, hey, it's us. And so, you know, kids worked extremely hard. Did a lot of the maturation process came on their own. They, you know, them coaching and holding each other accountable in summer workouts, you know, the times that we couldn't be with them. You know, they did a lot of that. And you just saw that group grow up, a lot of leadership within them. And then that, you know, coupled with the talent that we were going to have this past year, that's the reason why you were able to see the success we had.
You took over at Miller, you mentioned 3 years ago, and it was a program that, you know, to be real honest, it was struggling. You know, a couple of 1-9 seasons. It was a program that had failed to have that kind of consistency. When you arrived, what was your first priority? What would you say is the thing we've got to accomplish right now to get this thing moving in the right direction?
Got to build relationships. You know, we had to come in here and completely change the culture. You know, changing the culture is not just changing the sign on the door. It's changing how kids work. It's how kids buy into the process, their effort. You know, once again, like I said previously, you know, transitioning from being a coach-fed team to a player-led team. And those are the things that we saw that were glaring when we got here. We had to fix those things, you know, build the relationships with the kids. You know, sometimes when you've lost for a while, that breeds, just like anything, just like success breeds that, you know, that losing culture, and it's a mindset. And so, you know, we had to come in here and just really hone in on that and focus in on really getting kids to buy into being disciplined, being accountable, those types of things. You know, Miller's always had talent. The discipline piece is what we had to really focus in on, you know, preaching character, culture, all those things. And once we're able to do that, you know, that's then the athleticism and the natural abilities, God-given ability that these kids have, that stuff took over.
We're talking with Justen Evans, the head coach of the Corpus Christi Miller Buccaneers here on Texas Football Today. Get involved with the conversation at #TF Today. You're a Corpus guy. You're from there. Is it extra special to be able to do this not only in Corpus but at the oldest high school in Corpus Christi? Does that give you an extra kind of sense of accomplishment?
Oh man, absolutely. You know, here at Miller High School, our community is amazing. We've got the best fans ever. Our community is so bought into Miller. Like you said, the oldest high school in Corpus. So with that, there's been a lot of graduating classes. I can tell you that much. A lot of alumni who care about this school. They care about this community. They care about the team. All of our teams here at Miller, not just football, but there's a strong alumni base here. Those stuffs are important, you know, here. And, you know, me being here from Corpus, it's even that more important to me, you know, being here, you know, for years, South Texas and Corpus specifically has, you know, kind of been, I don't want to say overlooked, but, you know, it's not kind of high in the pecking order of, you would say, geographical areas that, you know, have strong football teams. That was the perception. And we do. We play good football here in South Texas. You know, we got a lot of great coaches here in our district, in our area. I mean, you can drive 15 miles up the road to Cal Island and know what they've been doing for years. And so, you know, we play good football down here, you know, and so what was great to see is that now we're being talked about again and having some great, you know, teams and the new district we're in Miller, you know, it's going to be great. You know, we're looking forward to that challenge for sure. And so it you know, it's special to me because I'm from here and it means a lot to me for sure.
You guys are going to welcome back one of the key pieces from last year's team in your quarterback, Andrew Bodie, and a guy who, you know, 59 total touchdowns, a 4,100-yard passer. I mean, I can look at the numbers and I can tell you that he's a really good quarterback. But as the guy who gets to see him every day in practice and see him around the locker room, what is it about your quarterback, Andrew Bodie, that sets him apart?
He's just so coachable, such a humble kid. I tell you what, he's likable. The kids love him. His teammates love him. You know, everyone is just falling in love with Andrew because he's such a selfless kid. You know, you sometimes stats and success sometimes may go to a kid's head. You know, especially being that young and what have you. It's never wavered. Even since his freshman year, you saw, man, this kid's different. He's special. The way he goes about his daily business, he's an extremely intelligent kid, ranked high in his class here, you know, academically. So he not only gets it done in the classroom, but he gets it done out here on the field. He's a great team leader. He's just everything that you would want to coach in a kid. You know, I've never heard more than yes sir, no sir from the kid. You know, we coach him hard. Our coaches coach him hard. Specifically, his quarterbacks coach is really tough on him, and he takes it and he gets better. And we challenge him to be better every single day, and he welcomes the challenge. He's just a phenomenal kid. Love coaching him.
On to 2020, and most notably, you guys are not only in a new district, but you're in a new classification, dropping down from 5A to 4A. I think there might be a tendency for people to say, oh, well, they're going to play in a lower classification. It'll be easier. UIL certainly didn't do you any favors from a district draw perspective with Cal Allen, Calhoun, a variety of really good teams there. I'm interested in your perspective. When you saw the draw come out, you knew you guys were going to be dropping to 4A, but when you saw the draw come out, you know, what's your reaction to where you guys are set up?
I mean, we're excited, about the opportunity to go to 4A. 4A just wasn't beneficial for football, but it was beneficial for all of our sports. We have 4A numbers, and we want all of our sports to be successful. And we know it's a numbers game and what have you. And so we were able to experience success at 5A, being the smallest 5A Division I school in the state, but most notably in our district. And so we've played at a high level, played some great teams in Vets and Flower Bluff, and so we're used to playing at a high level. We welcome the challenge. We're excited to go be in the district with Cal Allen and Port Lavaca and Beeville and Alice and TM and so those are some really good football teams. I mean, if you just look at collectively last year, I think I saw something where our district was 56-17 total last year, 3 district championships in 3 different districts. And then Cal Allen, who didn't end up winning the district, but they played in the regional finals, and they're always good. And so, we're excited about the challenge. We feel like we've got a really good team coming back next year, and that we expect, and it's our expectation to be in the mix, in the thick of things, competing for a right to play in the playoffs next year.
And one last question for Justen Evans of Corpus Christi Miller here on Texas Football Today. Coach, you've been in the coaching game for a little bit, but you weren't always in the coaching game. In fact, doing my research, you were a police officer in Corpus Christi for 2 years before you got into coaching. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Then I guess my question is, what are the shared skill set between being a police officer and being a football coach?
Order. Order. Yeah, that's huge to me. Having order, I'm just strategically how we go about doing our business here. Not a lot of nonsense. That's structured. We definitely have to. Kids of today, love them, but it's really about give and take. With kids and understanding their culture and things like that. But there are some non-negotiable things that have to happen in Miller's program, and so we don't waver from those things, and our kids know it and what have you. But it also gives me a sense to not only impart the football knowledge to them, but most importantly about life. I'm able to share some of the experiences that I saw as a police officer and impart it to them, and I don't want to say scare them, but give them some experiences that come with some things that I saw that can maybe deter them away from making some of those not so good decisions in life that would ultimately land them having to deal with the other side of it. But community policing was great. It's a great field. I know everybody looks at being a police officer as a negative thing, but you have a really an awesome opportunity to really connect with people on a daily basis, and that connection you're able to make as a police officer is definitely helps out in the sense of being able to make those connections with our players here every single day. So it's great.
So what you're saying is that every once in a while at practice, Officer Evans will show up.
Every day at practice, Officer Evans. Every day. Yeah, my kids know. We do a good job of that. You come to our practices and they're very high intense. Our coaches are no nonsense. You have to be. But we have such a great relationship with our kids that they know and they understand where it's coming from. I'm just coaching you to be the best person first that you can be, and then second, the best player. And after we're done with practice, we're loving on them and we're high-fiving them and joking around and stuff like that. And that's what makes this program so great here at Miller's, because the kids know you're going to get coached hard. You're going to get fundamentally coached by, in my opinion, some of the best coaches in America here on our staff. And then on the flip side of it is that those coaches also are players' coaches. So they're going to love on you. and treat you right and and what have you. So it's give and take, but yeah, love what we do here.
He's Justen Evans, Officer Evans. He's the head coach of the Corpus Christi Miller Buccaneers. Follow him on Twitter at EvansJusten. Coach, really appreciate your time. Congratulations again on a fantastic 2019. Stay safe and best of luck going forward.
Thank you so much for having me. And you stay safe too up there, Greg.